Hotel manager screams at clumsy waiter, not knowing Cristiano Ronaldo is watching. Cristiano Ronaldo sits at table 12 in the corner of the Grand Meridian Hotel restaurant, sipping his espresso, when a crash echoes through the dining room and a voice erupts like a volcano. A young waiter stands frozen near the kitchen doors, surrounded by shattered plates, and a manager is already storming toward him, face twisted in rage. The manager's voice cuts through every conversation. "You clumsy idiot, do you have any idea how much those plates cost?" The waiter's hands are shaking. His lips move, but no sound comes out. Cristiano lowers his cup slowly. Something about the way the young man is standing tells him this is not the first time. This is not even the 10th time. And what happens next will reveal something that has been hiding in plain sight for far too long. If you believe that people in power should use their platform to stand up for those who cannot speak for themselves, hit that like button and subscribe, because what Cristiano does in the next few minutes will remind you why true greatness has nothing to do with trophies and everything to do with character. And you will want to share this with everyone who needs to remember what real leadership looks like. The Grand Meridian Hotel is the kind of place where royalty stays when they visit the city. 5 stars. Marble floors so polished you can see your reflection. Crystal chandeliers that cost more than most people make in a year. The restaurant overlooks the city through floor-to-ceiling windows, and the afternoon sun streams in, creating patterns of light and shadow across white tablecloths. It is 3:47 in the afternoon. That strange, quiet time between lunch service and dinner prep, when only a handful of guests remain scattered across the 60-table dining room. Cristiano Ronaldo has been coming to this hotel for 3 years. Every time his team plays in this city, he stays here. He knows the lobby. He knows the gym on the 7th floor. He knows this restaurant where the chef makes a grilled sea bass that reminds him of home. Today he came down alone. No entourage. No security visible. Just him in a simple black sweater and jeans, sitting in the corner where he can see the whole room, but most people will not immediately notice him. He likes to watch people, always has. It is how he learned to read defenders on the pitch, how he learned to anticipate movement before it happens. And right now he is watching the servers move through their routines. There are 4 of them working. 3 move with the easy confidence of experience. The 4th is younger, maybe 22 or 23, dark hair, thin frame. He moves differently, more carefully, like he is constantly aware of being watched. Every tray he carries gets both hands. Every glass gets placed with deliberate precision. He is scared, Cristiano realizes, scared of making a mistake. The restaurant has that particular smell of expensive establishments. Fresh flowers from the arrangements on every table. The faint aroma of coffee and vanilla from the dessert station. Cleaning products that are somehow both sterile and pleasant. Everything is designed to project calm and luxury and control. The carpet absorbs footsteps. Conversations happen in hushed tones. Even the kitchen doors are engineered to close silently. But Cristiano notices things others might miss. The way that young waiter glances toward the office door near the kitchen every 30 seconds. The way his shoulders are up near his ears. The way he seems to hold his breath when a certain man in a gray suit walks through checking tables. The manager, late 40s, slicked back hair going silver at the temples, expensive watch. He moves through the restaurant like he owns it. Maybe he does. His eyes scan everything, looking for flaws, looking for mistakes. The young waiter is delivering bread to a table near the window when it happens. He is balancing the basket with one hand, reaching for a butter dish with the other when his elbow catches the edge of a service tray another server left on a station. The tray tips. 4 plates slide off in sequence. The sound of porcelain hitting marble is like gunshots. Crash, 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 crash. Every head in the restaurant turns. The young waiter drops to his knees immediately. "I'm sorry," he is saying. "I'm so sorry," his hands already reaching for the broken pieces. A server rushes over. "It's okay," she whispers. "Just leave it, I'll get a." The manager appears as if he materialized from thin air. His face is red. A vein pulses in his forehead. "You clumsy idiot." The words are loud enough that Cristiano can hear every syllable from across the room. "Do you have any idea how much those plates cost? Each one is 80 euros. That's 320 euros you just destroyed." The young waiter is still on his knees. His hands have frozen in mid-reach for a shard of plate. "I am sorry, sir, I didn't." Sorry doesn't pay for replacement plates, the manager cuts him off. This is the third time this month. The third time. Do you understand what that means? Cristiano sets his espresso cup down. The ceramic makes a soft click against the saucer. He does not move otherwise, but he is watching now with the focus he usually reserves for penalty kicks in the 90th minute. Sir, I can pay for them, the young waiter says. His voice is barely audible. I can take it from my salary. You think your salary covers this? The manager's voice drips with contempt. You make €12 an hour. That's almost 30 hours of work to pay for the damage you just caused. And that doesn't count the plates you broke last week, or the glasses the week before. A woman at table 9 looks uncomfortable. She exchanges glances with her husband. A couple at table 14 has stopped eating entirely, watching the scene unfold. The other servers have disappeared. Into the kitchen, behind the bar, anywhere but here. The young waiter finally looks up. Please, sir, I need this job. I'll be more careful, I promise. Careful, the manager laughs, but there is no humor in it. You don't know the meaning of the word. You're a disaster waiting to happen. The only reason you still work here is because your predecessor was worse somehow. But don't think for 1 second that means you're safe. Cristiano's jaw tightens. His hands are flat on the table now. He recognizes something in the manager's tone. The enjoyment. This man is not just angry, he is enjoying this. The power, the control, the ability to reduce another human being to nothing in front of an audience. Get this cleaned up, the manager snaps. And when you're done, come to my office. We're going to have a conversation about your future here, or lack thereof. The manager turns on his heel and walks back toward the office. His posture is straight, proud, like he just accomplished something important. The young waiter remains on his knees. His hands are shaking so badly now that when he tries to pick up a piece of broken plate, he nearly cuts himself. The female server who tried to help earlier returns with a dustpan and broom. She kneels beside him. Hey, she whispers, Miguel, look at me. The young waiter, Miguel, doesn't look up. I can't lose this job, he says. I can't. My mother, she's sick, the medications. I'm the only one working. I know, the woman says. I know, but you need to breathe, okay? Just breathe. Cristiano stands up. He does not rush. He moves with the same controlled purpose he uses on the field. He walks past table 11, table 10, table 9 where the couple is still watching. He reaches the spot where Miguel is kneeling and stops. Excuse me, he says quietly. Is everything all right here? Miguel looks up. His eyes are red. He blinks once, twice. Recognition crashes over his face like a wave. You're. Cristiano holds up a hand gently. I saw what happened. That was not your fault. The female server has gone completely still. She is staring at Cristiano like he appeared out of a dream. Miguel's mouth opens and closes. I broke the plates, he finally says. It was my fault. Accidents happen, Cristiano says. But what I want to know is, does your manager always speak to you like that? Miguel looks down at the broken porcelain. Sometimes, he says. His voice is barely a whisper, when we make mistakes. The female server, her name tag reads Sophia, clears her throat. Sir, with respect, you should probably. She glances toward the office door. The manager. He doesn't like guests interfering. Interfering, Cristiano repeats. He looks at her directly. Is that what this is? Sophia hesitates. Her loyalty is clearly divided. Finally, she says, I've worked here for 6 years. I've seen a lot of people come and go. She does not finish the sentence, but the implication hangs in the air. People come and go because of the manager. Cristiano crouches down to Miguel's level. The young man is still shaking. How long have you worked here? Cristiano asks. 8 months, Miguel says. I started in February. And has he been like this the whole time? Miguel does not answer. His silence is answer enough. Before we see what happens next, if this story is hitting close to home for you, or if you have ever felt powerless in a situation where someone in authority made you feel small, hit that subscribe button. Because what Cristiano does next is exactly what we all wish we could do when we see injustice happening right in front of us. And you need to share this with anyone who has ever been mistreated at work. Because sometimes all it takes is one person willing to stand up. Cristiano helps Miguel to his feet. Sofia sweeps up the broken plates quickly, efficiently. Miguel keeps trying to apologize. To Cristiano, to Sofia, to the other guests who are watching. Cristiano puts a hand on his shoulder. "Stop apologizing," he says. "You did nothing wrong." "I broke the plates," Miguel says. "You had an accident," Cristiano corrects him. "There's a difference. Tell me something. Does your manager ever break things? Does he ever make mistakes?" Miguel looks confused by the question. "I don't know, I guess. Everyone does." "And when he makes mistakes, does he punish himself like this? Does he humiliate himself in front of customers? Does he dock his own pay?" Miguel shakes his head slowly. "Exactly," Cristiano says. He turns to Sofia. "I'd like to speak with your manager." Sofia's eyes widen. "Sir, I really don't think." "It's not a request," Cristiano says, but his tone is not unkind. Just firm. "Where is his office?" Sofia points to the door near the kitchen. "But sir," she says, he's not going to like this. He doesn't like being questioned." "Good," Cristiano says. "Then this should be interesting." He walks toward the office. Miguel calls after him. "Sir, please, don't. He'll just make it worse for me after you leave." Cristiano stops, turns back. He will not get the chance, he says. "Trust me." The office door is closed. Cristiano does not knock. He opens it and walks in. The manager is sitting behind a desk covered in papers and a computer screen. He looks up. His face cycles through confusion, then recognition, then irritation. "Mr. Ronaldo," he says, standing up quickly. "Is there a problem? Is your table not satisfactory? I can move you." "Your waiter," Cristiano says, cutting him off. "Miguel, I want to talk about him." The manager's expression hardens. "Miguel is being dealt with. I apologize if his clumsiness disturbed your meal. I assure you he will be disciplined." "He will not," Cristiano says. The manager blinks. "Excuse me." "You heard me," Cristiano says. "He will not be disciplined. Not by you, not today, not ever again." The manager's face flushes. "Mr. Ronaldo, with all due respect, this is an employee matter. It doesn't concern guests. No matter how famous they are. I appreciate your patronage of this hotel, but—" "I'm going to ask you some questions," Cristiano interrupts. "And I want honest answers. How long have you been treating your staff this way?" The manager's mouth opens, closes. "I don't know what you mean." "The humiliation," Cristiano says, "the verbal abuse, the threats, the fear, how long?" "I run a tight ship," the manager says. His voice has gone cold. "This is a 5-star establishment. Standards must be maintained. If employees cannot meet those standards—" "By screaming at them," Cristiano says. "By calling them idiots. By making them pay for broken dishes out of their own pockets when they make €12 an hour." "That's standard policy," the manager says. "Damages come out of the responsible party's wages. It's in the employment contract." "Is it also in the contract that you get to treat them like they're worthless?" Cristiano asks. "That you get to enjoy humiliating them in front of customers?" The manager's face has gone from red to purple. "Mr. Ronaldo, I think you should return to your table. This is none of your business." "You made it my business," Cristiano says, "when you decided to abuse someone in front of me. Do you know what I saw out there? I saw a young man who is terrified, who is working to pay for his sick mother's medication, who is trying his best in an impossible situation, and I saw you enjoying his fear." The manager slams his hand on the desk. "I have been running this restaurant for 12 years. 12 years. I have maintained the highest standards. I have trained dozens of servers. I have." "You have bullied people who could not fight back," Cristiano says, "because you know they need the job. You know they cannot afford to lose it, so you use that power. You make them smaller so you can feel bigger." The manager's voice drops to something dangerous. "I suggest you leave my office now." "Not yet," Cristiano says. "I want to speak to more of your staff. I want to know if Miguel's experience is unique, or if this is a pattern." The manager's laugh is harsh. "You want to speak to my staff? Who do you think you are?" Cristiano pulls out his phone. "I am someone with 40 million followers on social media," he says calmly. "I am someone who can tell this story to the entire world with a single post. I am someone who can make sure everyone knows what kind of man runs the Grand Meridian Hotel restaurant. So yes, I think I will speak to your staff, and then we will see what happens next. The manager's face has drained of color. You wouldn't, he says, but his voice has lost its certainty. Try me, Cristiano says. He turns and walks back out into the restaurant. Sophia is standing near the kitchen doors. She looks terrified. Where are the other servers? Cristiano asks her. In the break room, she says, but please, sir, if he finds out we talk to you. He won't do anything to you, Cristiano says. I promise you that. Take me to them. Sophia looks back at the office door, then at Miguel, who is standing near table 12 wringing his hands, then at Cristiano. Finally, she nods. Follow me, she says. The break room is small, white walls, a few chairs, a table with a coffee maker. 2 servers are sitting there, a man in his 30s and a woman maybe 50. They look up when Cristiano walks in. The man nearly drops his coffee. The woman gasps. My name is Cristiano, he says. I know you know who I am, but I am not here as a guest right now. I am here because I saw something today that I cannot ignore, and I need your help. The man, his name tag says Rafael, stands up slowly. Help with what he asks. Your manager, Cristiano says, the way he treats Miguel, is that normal? Does he treat all of you that way? The room goes silent. The older woman, Carmen, according to her tag, looks at Sophia. Sophia looks at the floor. Rafael crosses his arms. Sir, with respect, she says, we can't, if we say anything. Your jobs are protected, Cristiano says. I give you my word, but I need to know the truth. Is Miguel's situation unique, or is this what it is like to work here? Carmen's eyes fill with tears. She wipes them quickly, roughly. He's worse with Miguel, she says finally. Her voice shakes. Because Miguel is young, because he's scared, because he can push him further. But no, it's not unique. We've all been there. Rafael nods. Last month, he says, I dropped a tray during dinner service. It was packed. I was carrying too much. He made me stand in the kitchen afterward and he screamed at me for 20 minutes, called me useless, said I was lucky to have a job, said dozens of people would kill for my position, so I better remember how replaceable I was. Sophia speaks up. He docks our pay for everything, she says. If a customer complains, even if it's not our fault, if food comes out wrong from the kitchen, if we're 30 seconds late for a shift, he takes money from our wages. Sometimes €100 a month, 200. Cristiano feels the anger building in his chest, hot and tight. How many people have quit because of him, he asks. Carmen laughs, a bitter sound. In 6 years, she says, I've seen 43 servers come through here. Maybe 5 left for other opportunities. The rest quit because they couldn't take it anymore. Or he fired them. Usually he fires them over small things, impossible things. One woman was fired because a customer said she smiled too much. Another because he decided her uniform wasn't pressed well enough even though it was fine. And no one has reported this, Cristiano asks. To the hotel management, to authorities. Rafael shrugs. Who would believe us, he says. He's been here forever. He has connections, we're just servers, replaceable, like he always reminds us. You are not replaceable, Cristiano says. The intensity in his voice makes all 3 of them look at him. You are people. You deserve respect. You deserve to work without fear. And what is happening here is not acceptable. There is a sound in the doorway. They all turn. The manager is standing there. His face is a mask of fury. What the hell do you think you are doing, he says to Cristiano. You cannot come into my break room and poison my staff against me. Poison them, Cristiano repeats. I think you have done that job yourself. The manager points at Sophia, Rafael, and Carmen. All of you, back to work. Now. None of them move. I said now, the manager shouts. They're not going anywhere, Cristiano says. Not until we finish this conversation. The manager takes a step into the room. This is my restaurant, he says. You have no authority here. Celebrity or not, I can have you removed. Go ahead, Cristiano says. Call security. Let's see what they think when I tell them what I have learned in the last 10 minutes. Let's see what the hotel general manager thinks. Better yet, let's see what the internet thinks when I post about this. You wouldn't dare, the manager says, but his voice wavers. I told you before, Cristiano says. Try me. The standoff lasts 5 seconds. 10. The manager's eyes dart from Cristiano to the servers, looking for weakness. For someone who will break. No one does. Finally, he says, fine, you want to play hero, go ahead. But when you leave, these people still work for me, and they will remember this. And so will I. No, they won't, Cristiano says, because you're done. The manager's face goes slack. What did you say? You heard me. Cristiano pulls out his phone. He dials a number, holds the phone to his ear. It rings twice. Then a voice answers and Cristiano says, I need to speak to Jonathan Pierce. Yes, I know, he's the general manager of the hotel. Tell him it's Cristiano Ronaldo and it's urgent. There is a pause. The manager's face has gone from red to white. He takes a step back. You can't, he starts to say. 30 seconds later, another voice comes on the line. Cristiano, this is Jonathan Pierce. Is everything all right? Are you having a problem at the hotel? Jonathan, Cristiano says, thank you for taking my call. I am in the restaurant right now. And yes, there is a very serious problem. Your restaurant manager has been verbally abusing your staff, threatening them, docking their pay illegally, creating a hostile work environment. I have 4 employees here who are willing to give testimony, and I have witnessed his behavior personally. There is silence on the other end. Then Jonathan's voice comes back tight and controlled. I'll be down in 2 minutes, he says. Don't let anyone leave. Cristiano hangs up. The manager is shaking now. His bluster has completely evaporated. You don't understand, he stammers. Running a restaurant, it's stressful. These people, they need discipline, they need respect. Cristiano cuts him off. They need a manager who leads instead of bullies. They need to feel safe at work. And you have failed at every single one of those things. Miguel appears in the doorway. His eyes are wide. Is it true, he asks. Did you really call the general manager? I did, Cristiano says. And you're all going to tell him exactly what has been happening here. No more fear, no more silence. Today it ends. Carmen is crying openly now. Thank you, she whispers. You have no idea what this means. 2 minutes later, Jonathan Pierce walks into the break room. He is tall, graying, distinguished. He looks at the manager, then at Cristiano, then at the 4 servers. Someone explain, he says, everything. And they do, one by one. Sophia talks about the illegal wage deductions. Raphael talks about the verbal abuse. Carmen talks about the impossible standards and the constant fear. Miguel talks about being called an idiot in front of customers, about being threatened with firing every single day, about working while terrified that one small mistake would end his ability to care for his mother. Jonathan Pierce's face grows darker with each testimony. He makes notes. He asks questions. He is professional, but Cristiano can see the anger underneath. This is his hotel, his reputation, and this manager has been destroying it from the inside. When they finish, Jonathan turns to the manager. You're fired, he says. Simple as that. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. You will collect your personal belongings under supervision. And you will hear from our legal department about the wage theft allegations. The manager's mouth works silently. Then he finds his voice. You can't do this, he says. I have a contract. I have 12 years here. You can't just. Watch me, Jonathan says. His voice is ice. What you have done here is illegal, immoral, and a disgrace to this establishment. You're lucky Mr. Ronaldo gave me the chance to handle this internally. The alternative was him posting about it online. And then you would not just lose your job, you would never work in hospitality again. Now get out. Security arrives 2 minutes later, 2 men in dark suits. They escort the manager out. He does not look at anyone as he leaves, does not say goodbye, just walks out with his head down and his shoulders hunched. The door closes behind him. The break room exhales collectively. Jonathan turns to the 4 servers. I owe all of you an apology, he says. This should never have happened. The fact that it went on for years under my roof is unacceptable. We will be conducting a full review of restaurant operations. You will all be reimbursed for any illegal deductions, and we will be implementing new policies to ensure this never happens again. If anyone wants to speak to our HR department, or if anyone wants counseling services, the hotel will pay for it. What about our jobs? Sophia asks quietly. Are we safe? Your jobs are absolutely safe, Jonathan says. In fact, you're all getting raises, effective immediately. And I'm going to need one of you to step up as interim manager until we hire someone new. Someone who understands that leadership means lifting people up, not tearing them down. Carmen raises her hand slowly. I might be interested, she says, if you think I could do it. I think you would be excellent, Jonathan says. We'll talk details later. Right now, go take the rest of the day off. Paid, all of you. Process what happened. Tomorrow we start fresh. The servers look at each other, then at Cristiano. Then they start to cry and laugh and hug each other. The relief in the room is palpable, physical, like a weight has been lifted from all of them at once. Miguel walks over to Cristiano. His hands are still shaking, but differently now. I don't know how to thank you, he says. You didn't have to do this. You could have just finished your coffee and left and... But I didn't, Cristiano says, because I couldn't. Because I have been given a platform and a voice, and if I use those things only for myself, then what is the point? You deserved better. You all did. Miguel wipes his eyes. My mother, he says. When I tell her what happened today, she won't believe it. She watches you play. She's a huge fan. She's going to lose her mind. Cristiano smiles. Tell her I said to get well soon. And tell her she raised a son who kept showing up even when it was hard. That takes courage. Jonathan Pierce shakes Cristiano's hand. Thank you, he says. I mean it. This could have gone very differently. You could have destroyed us online. Instead, you gave me the chance to fix it. I don't want to destroy anyone, Cristiano says. I want people to do better, to be better. You have that chance now. Don't waste it. I won't, Jonathan promises. And please, dinner tonight on the house, the least I can do. Cristiano waves him off. Just take care of your people, he says. That's all the payment I need. An hour later, Cristiano is back in his hotel room. The city spreads out below his window. Sunset is painting the sky orange and pink and gold. He stands there for a long moment just watching, thinking. He thinks about all the times he has walked past something wrong, something unjust, and said nothing because it was not his problem, not his business. How many Miguels has he walked past in his life? How many people suffering in silence while the world goes on around them? He thinks about power, real power, not the kind that comes from money or fame or followers, but the kind that comes from choosing to act when you see something wrong. The kind that comes from using whatever platform you have been given to amplify voices that are usually ignored. He pulls out his phone, opens his social media. He does not post the whole story, does not name the hotel or the manager. Instead, he writes something simple. Today I learned that true strength has nothing to do with what you can do with a football. It has everything to do with standing up for people who cannot stand up for themselves. If you see injustice, speak up. If you have power, use it for good. If you can help someone, do it. That's what leadership really means. He hits post. Within minutes, the comments flood in. Thousands of them. People sharing their own stories, their own experiences with workplace abuse, with feeling powerless, with wishing someone had spoken up for them. And mixed in with those comments are messages from Sophia and Rafael and Carmen and Miguel, thanking him, telling him how their lives have changed, how they can breathe again, how they showed up for their next shift without fear for the first time in years. Cristiano reads every message, every single one. Because this is what matters, not the trophies, not the records, not the goals or the fame or the money. This, the ability to make someone's life better, the choice to act when you see wrong, the understanding that being great at something means nothing if you do not use that greatness to lift others up. He thinks about Miguel, about how easily that young man's story could have ended differently. Fired, broken. Another statistic in the massive problem of workplace abuse that happens every day in every country in every industry. How many people are living that story right now? How many are suffering in silence because they believe no one will listen, no one will care, no one will act? And he thinks about the manager, not with satisfaction at seeing him fired, but with something more complex. Sadness maybe, That someone could have so much control over other people's lives and choose to use it to cause pain instead of to build something good. What makes a person become that? What happens in someone's life that they start to enjoy making others feel small? He does not have the answers, but he knows this. Silence enables abuse. Inaction enables injustice. And the only way anything changes is if people who have the ability to act choose to do so, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is not their problem, especially then. The sun has set completely now. The city lights are coming on, millions of them, each one representing a person, a story, a life. How many of those lives include a Miguel? Someone suffering, someone scared, someone working 3 times as hard as they should have to just to survive in a system designed to exploit them. Too many, Cristiano thinks. Far too many. But today one less. Today Miguel goes home and tells his mother that someone stood up for him, that someone saw his worth, that someone said enough. And maybe that story spreads. Maybe someone else hears it and finds the courage to speak up in their own workplace. Or maybe a manager hears it and thinks twice before screaming at an employee. Or maybe a person with power hears it and decides to use that power for something good. That is the ripple effect. That is how change happens. One action, one choice, one moment of courage, multiplied across thousands of people, millions, until the culture shifts, until the standard changes, until treating people with dignity and respect is not exceptional, it is expected. Cristiano walks away from the window. He has a match tomorrow. He should be thinking about formations, about the opposing defense, about set pieces and tactics, and he will. But right now he is thinking about a young waiter named Miguel who can finally breathe, who can finally work without terror, who can finally believe that maybe the world is not entirely made up of people who will exploit his fear. That is worth more than any trophy. That is worth everything. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that prove one person can make a difference. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who feels powerless, someone who has been treated unfairly, someone who needs to be reminded that speaking up matters, that standing up matters, that their voice matters. Drop a comment if you have ever experienced something similar, if you have ever witnessed injustice and wished you had the courage to act. Your story matters too. These conversations are how we change culture, how we make workplaces safer, how we make the world better one interaction at a time. If this story of courage inspired you, watch what happens when Keanu Reeves discovers a film crew being exploited on set and decides to take action, or see how Gordon Ramsay handles a restaurant owner who has been stealing tips from servers. This next story will remind you why real leaders use their power to protect, not to harm.